House will come back to order. This House will come back to order. Mr. Clerk, would you ring the bell, please? Recess is over. Back to work. Clerk, would you please read the caption to a group of privilege resolutions?
Commending Russell Thomas Jr., congratulating Andrea Thomas on the occasion of her 75th birthday and on her 40th wedding anniversary, recognizing commending Raymond Franklin and Noah Phillips III, recognizing Dee Hill, recognizing commending Myrna Taylor Ransom, recognizing commending Regina Allen Slaughter, recognizing Michelle Williams, recognizing Sylvia McAfee, recognizing Carol Blackman, recognizing March 25th as Greek Independence Day, honoring commending Reverend Dr. Willie Albert Pierman Jr., recognizing June 27, 2016 as Post-Traumatic Stress Injury Awareness Day, and June 2016 as Post-Traumatic Stress Injury Awareness Month, and encouraging the Department of Public Health in general to continue working to educate citizens about post-traumatic stress injury, recognizing Representative Alex Atwood, recognizing commending Deputy Harris Thomas on the occasion of his retirement, congratulating Robert Mel Aycock and Leona Justine Rittenhouse on the grand occasion of their wedding on October 15th, 2016, recognizing and commending Mr. Ron Clark, recognizing commending Dr. James Jim Puckett on the grand occasion of his retirement, recognizing commending Ms. Sheila M. McNeil, honoring Bessie Jones, Alan Lomax, and Sea Island Singers, commending Dr. Lowell Mooney, Chairman of the Georgia Society of CPAs, recognizing March 2016 as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month at the State Capitol, recognizing the Turner County girls basketball team upon winning the 2016 state Class A title, commending and congratulating David Lang, commending the Lymphoma Research Foundation as the nation's only nonprofit organization devoted totally to innovative research to find a cure for this specific disease, and recognizing the Georgia Lymphoma Walk on April 16, 2016 as Cure Lymphoma Day in Georgia, and for other purposes. That completes the reading of the privilege resolutions.
Is there objection to the adoption of the privilege resolutions? Chair hears none, and the resolutions are adopted. Chair recognizes Chairman Chokas for a morning order.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a great day here at the Capitol, and I've got my Marion County Middle High School 8th grade class visiting us at the Capitol. This is their 19th consecutive year, and I'm really proud to show them off because they excel not only in academics, but also in the humanities and in athletics. Having won state championships in football, state championships in the four-man boys quartet, and also that same four-man boys quartet performed here on the Capitol, on the chamber 2 years ago. They're accompanied by Principal Glenn Tidwell, Coach Trey Reeves, Nicole Janoski, Sarita Griggs and her husband Adam, Gina Teat, Perry Smith, Alicia Dunn, Jennifer Anthony, and Lowell Ivory also were with the students on the way up there. So if y'all would, please join me. Let's get them to stand up on both sides of the gallery. Guys, y'all stand up. Let us welcome you to your state capitol. Go Eagles. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes the chairman of the House Appropriations Committee, Chairman England, for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House disagree to the Senate substitute for House Bill 751.
Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 751 by Representative Ralston, the 7th, Jones, the 47th, Burns, the 159th, and others, to be entitled an act to make and provide appropriations for the state fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2016 and ending June 30th, 2017.
Chair recognizes Chairman England to explain his motion.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is just the starting of the process to get us to conference committee on the budget for this year for FY17. Our first volley going back across for the insist and a point of a conference committee when it comes back to us then. But that'll be done tomorrow. Senate just passed it on their floor, and so we'll get to work hopefully this weekend. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman England has moved that this House disagree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 751. On the gentleman's motion that this House disagree, is there any objection? Chair hears none, and this House has disagreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 751. We are now going on to the rules calendar. We're going on to the rules calendar. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 191. Senate Bill 191.
Senate Bill 191 by Senator Tippins, the 37th, and others, to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 9 of Title 25 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to blasting or excavating near utility facilities so as to prohibit local governing authorities from adopting or enforcing ordinances which mandate marking requirements or standards which are different than from those that are contained in state law. This bill having been referred to the Committee on Energy, Utilities, and Telecom. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair recognizes Chairman Parsons to explain the bill.
Thank you, Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, this bill has to do with the call before you dig. It does two things. It acknowledges that it's the Georgia Public Service Commission that has very stringent rules, very good about enforcing those rules related to the call before you dig, and it reinforces that, streamlines that process, and also extends the life of a request to dig from 21 to 30 days. This is legislation that's been worked on really hard over the last over a year now, and all the parties have worked hard on this, agreed on it, and I would ask for your favorable vote. Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I yield the well.
You have a question if you care to yield.
Yes, sir.
Chair recognizes Representative Fleming to your left for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the gentleman in the well, Mr. Chairman, I tried to ask this question, I thought, in rules today when this came through, and I didn't really understand the response, but apparently there are some local ordinances that are causing problems. I mean, what are we trying to do away with at the local level that's not
I don't
working?
know that that's a good question. I don't know that they're causing problems. I mean, I don't know that. I think what this really aims to do and will do is to streamline the process so that these contractors, anybody involved in this, don't have to deal with all the various municipalities and counties across the state. And the State Public Service Commission does have their codes or their processes that have to be gone through, and it allows them to be the entity that actually reviews this, and if there are any fines, any violations, it would come through the Public Service Commission, and therefore it's a streamlined process.
So we don't know of any examples of any local ordinances or resolutions that are causing any problems at this point?
I don't know of any. I just know
Yes,
it streamlines the process. I mean, I don't, of course, obviously there are many, many local governments across the state, but it allows the contractors to deal with one entity, and that is the Georgia Public Service Commission. that has very specific, very stringent rules that apply to this process.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
You have no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask for favorable consideration. Thank you.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 191 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of Senate Bill 191. The ayes are 140, the nays are 9. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Senate Bill 158 will be postponed until the next legislative day at the request of the author. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 309. Senate Bill 309.
Senate Bill 309 by Senator Jones of the 25th, Bethel of the 54th, and others, be titled an act to amend Part 14 of Article 6 of Chapter 2, Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to certain programs and activities under the Quality Basic Education Act. This bill having referred to the Committee on Education, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair recognizes Representative Strickland to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the committee, I bring to you Senate Bill 309. This is the same bill that we already passed, House Bill 870. This is the Senate version of that. Senate's taking a little bit more time passing bills and wanting to attach a few things to bills, so we're going to move the Senate version instead, hopefully, today. My friend Burt Jones filed this bill the same time I did. Again, what we're doing here is we are trying to prevent our Georgia High School Association from keeping two schools that want to play each other in sports from playing each other. This will keep our parents from having to choose between what is best for a child when it comes to academics and athletics. And no longer going to have two schools in Henry County that share the same cross-country track that can't have a cross-country meet at that track together. And this bill also addresses religious expression and says the Georgia High School Association can't arbitrarily pick and choose what type of religious expression will be allowed in a uniform. Instead, they'll follow the rules of that game and with the conduct of that game as well. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
You have no questions.
And I will yield the well.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 309 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of Senate Bill 309. The ayes are 123, the nays are 34. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. I hope you will help me welcome back to the House a very distinguished former member, former State Representative Donna Sheldon from Gwinnett County. I made sure she didn't qualify for anything before I recognized her. Unless she wants to run for the Senate. Clerk will read the caption of Senate Bill 290.
is Senate Bill 290 by Senator Bethel of the 54th, be titled an act to amend Chapter 23 of Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to licensing so as to clarify those individuals not required to be licensed as an insurance agent. This bill having referred to the Committee on Insurance, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair recognizes Representative Reeves to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, I bring to you Senate Bill 290, which is an agency bill for the Office of Insurance. Currently, our state law does not require non-agents to obtain an insurance license. However, there's an ambiguity in our laws regarding real estate attorneys and credit reporting firms who handle insurance information. This bill reconciles this ambiguity and brings clarity to the state that they do not need insurance licenses. I will yield for questions.
You have no questions.
I'll yield the well. Thank you.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 290 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the passage of Senate Bill 290, the ayes are 160, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 305.
Senate Bill 305 by Senator Honorman of the 45th, being titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 1 of Title 31, the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to health, so as to require the Department to provide certain notification prior to modification of the physician orders for life-sustaining treatment. This bill having referred to the Committee on Health and Human Services, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair recognizes the chair of the House Health and Human Services Committee, Chairman Cooper, to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To members of the House, I bring you Senate Bill 305. And I would like for you to take a minute and to listen to something I have to say about this bill. I listened this morning as several of our members gave elegant statements about the attack that a member of the lobbying group did on us yesterday in an email. And I want you to know that he was the former person in charge of the Georgia Right to Life, may still be involved with them, another Christian organization. And I want you to know that this bill is a special request from them. And even though we were so wrongly attacked and had such terrible things said about us and our speaker, that this bill is still moving and is going to be a specific request that the Georgia Right to Life has said and wanted. So I just wanted you to know that this chamber is going to do the right thing. And when we don't think it's right, we're going to take our time and deliberate and try to come up with a solution to a problem that we think is right and will be the best for Georgia citizens. And with that, Mr. Speaker, Senate Bill 305 just is an addition onto the Pulse bill that we passed last year, which allows somebody in the last year of their life, when they've been diagnosed and been told by a physician that they only have 365 or less days to live, that they can make a direction and tell the physician what they want to happen to them. It does not allow for assisted suicide. But the Georgia Right to Life people were afraid that someday the people in public health might change the form that would allow somebody to do that. And so this bill says if they're going to make any changes to the form, they have to let the members of the Health and Human Services Committee in both the House and the Senate know about it 60 days in advance. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I will ask for people's favorable consideration of the bill if they think it's a good one, and I will answer any questions should there be any.
You have no questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 305 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of Senate Bill 305. The ayes are 162, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. If you have signed up for an announcement, please make your way to the front of the chamber. If you haven't signed up and need to, the time is now. We will be doing page photographs at the rostrum immediately upon adjournment. I know that the committee process needs to be working this afternoon. Chair recognizes for an announcement the chairman of the Human Relations and Aging Committee, Chairman Benton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Subcommittee of Transportation that oversees state highways will meet today at 3 o'clock in room 506, and we need all members of that subcommittee to be there. Very important vote today. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the chair of the Health and Human Services Committee, Chairman Cooper, for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To members of the House and Health and Human Services Committee, we were scheduled to meet at 1:30. We will meet immediately upon adjournment. Please do not tarry. Let's get a quorum. We're in 606. Hopefully we can catch up the schedule because we had somebody scheduled to come in behind us at 3 o'clock. So please, immediately on adjournment, go to 606 and let's have our meeting and get out of the way of the next committee. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Dudgeon for an announcement.
Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, the House Education Committee meets tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. That's new, different for us, to vote on the teacher evaluation bill, among other things. 8:30, room 606, full education tomorrow.
Chair recognizes Chairman Maxwell for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, Regulated Industries is supposed to meet at 2 o'clock. Hopefully the chairman of Senate Rules will be there to present his bill. 2 o'clock, Regulated Industries. We need to get that bill moving. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Sims for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. State Properties will meet at 4 o'clock in room 403. Thank you.
Page photographs at the rostrum upon adjournment. Please be with your pages. Chair recognizes the majority leader of this House for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand in recess until 4 p.m. today, at which time we will be adjourned until tomorrow morning, Friday, March 11, 2016 at 10 a.m. for day 35.
The majority leader has moved that this House be in recess until 4 o'clock p.m., whereupon we will stand adjourned until Friday, March 11 at 10 a.m. All those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes have it. This House will be in recess until 4 o'clock p.m., and then we will stand adjourned until Friday morning at 10 a.m.